Presley, you've mentioned mental toughness a couple times. Off the field, what was the biggest thing that you learned about yourself this season?
Mm-hmm. Oh, this is a good question. I think the biggest thing mentally that I've, kind of found about myself off the field was that it's okay to, not be okay sometimes. These last couple of weeks have been tough. When I first found the news out about my father, it was actually Christmas morning, and I was supposed to be traveling to Kansas City, but I decided to go home. That moment, in that car ride back, because flights were getting canceled left and right, so I had to take a 10-hour drive back home. But on that drive back, I took a little bit of a second to reflect on what my dad told me, and the biggest thing that he told me was to, whenever the time goes when he's not going to be here anymore, was to handle my business, take care of my family. And I think that's the biggest thing that I learned during this season is, my life is different now and I'm not home and, I have this job of what is the NFL, but at the same time, you still have to handle your business outside of it. And he really showed me that just by that easy, small statement that he made was just to handle your business. But it showed me that, you kind of have to live almost like two lives when you're on the field or when you're in the building and outside of it. And I was trying so hard to get both of those to come together. I finally realized when he said that to me that sometimes you don't have to have it come together. And sometimes that, you have to reflect back to your family and the ones that's closest to you to give you that motivation during the year. I would talk to my parents, my little brother all the time during the year, but I never really sat down and just talked outside of football as much as I wanted to. It was always about, how is the season going? How did the practice go and stuff? I never really got the opportunity as much as I wanted to because I was just so focused on doing well on the field. I never really kind of focused on, things outside of it and getting away from it a little bit because, this stuff can make you insane sometimes, especially with how long the season is. And I feel like that's the mental part that was tougher during the season as the season continued to go on was how can you get away from it a little bit to motivate yourself to get back? And, that was the biggest thing that he taught me.
I don't know that many, Steelers fans, anybody knew what was going on. Who were you leaning on to kind of get you through that?
The biggest people I were leaning on was definitely my mom, my dad, as well as my grandma. I'll never forget that trip that we actually got them up for the game against Tennessee, I believe. And that was I don't know if it was Tennessee. I think it was another one. It was the last home game I played in. And we were actually able to, get them up for the game. And I'll never forget that moment. It was just all of us being in the house as a family for just that last time. It just makes me smile because that was the biggest thing that, I wanted to lean on them was that I didn't want them to worry about anything on my side of things. I was more so worried about them. And, just that true pleasure and joy that they got from being at that game was the biggest people that, I could say that I had the chance to lean on, being able to lay eyes on. But outside of them, the two biggest people that helped me out was our team chaplain, Pastor Kent. Talked to him all the time. And I talked to also our player development guy, Darrell Young. BY is a big help. He's been a big help this entire season, but let alone, he's gone out of his ways to try to make sure that my parents and my grandma and my entire family were also taken care of throughout this time period and everything. But I'm just truly appreciative of not even just those people that I named, but also the Steelers organization and the Rooney family, because, when I first got up here, I was told that the motto of the Rooney family was family, faith, and football in that order. And, that was something that, you kind of hear all over the place going out throughout college. We always say we're together, we're family. I really, really felt that whenever we got the bad news about my dad and my grandma. And, it was always family first. This organization is definitely family to me. And I know it's the same to them as well. And, we kept our faith and, the football was the part that, is our jobs. But, I was actually extremely blessed and appreciative of all of the efforts that this family and the organization gave to me.